All right, everybody, YouTube faithful, welcome back to another edition of Third and Yarn. Now, you may be asking yourself, what the heck does that mean? That means it's third down and it's time to go yarn. And if you don't know what it means to go yarn, you're about to find out. So go ahead, smash the subscribe button, hit the like button, do all that stuff, do the Lord's work. I need you guys to keep doing that. It helps the channel. And what I'm going to go over is player propositions, DraftKings advice, general slate thoughts, and more. And I'm not just going to give you the plays and say this. I'm going to give you the cons, the pros. You name it, you're getting it. So go ahead and smash that like button for your boy. Now, without further ado, let's break this puppy down. So step number one, you're going to want to go to DG, which happens to be my partner, and you can get all the market data right away. No games, no fluff, no flip, no nonsense. It's right here for PrizePicks, UnderDog, ParlayPlay, Better, boom, DraftKings Pick 6. You name it, it's here. You filter it to NFL, you can start mixing and matching the 54.5s or better. Now, right now, there's not a lot of value on NFL, you can see, but you do get the market data right away. So DK Metcalf, minus 137, minus 120, minus 130, minus 145, and minus 142. That's something you're going to want to look at PrizePicks. They're going to pay you fixed equity in a parlay, so you know there's going to be some value to be had. Now, it's going to reach the tier of plus EV if it's 54.5 or better. I would look right before lock. That's when you're probably going to get a lot of those tomorrow. If you swap the filter to MLB, WNBA, or all of them, actually, you're going to see a whole bunch. Here you go, okay? Hudson Card, over 7.5 rush attempts for college football. And you can go down the list for esports, NCAA, whatever you have, it's all right there, okay? Now, the fantasy scores are obviously always the most volatile. It has its own algorithm. You can see Caleb Williams over 15.5 fantasy. I actually like him to go under personally, but just to give you an idea of how this tool works. Now, I create projections every day in a Discord. I post it for the boys and girls, and I let them go over it. You look at this, you compare it to that, and then you get in the mix. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. But here's the truth of the matter, y'all. It's week 3. There's not a lot of value. We have to make some gut calls, which is always going to be my favorite thing to do, and I am here to do just that. My whole entire thing is to try to give you props that no one else is talking about to get your feet fired and to get you thinking. So I'm trying to keep it quick, but I'm trying to keep it educational. So right out of the gate, the first person that I want to talk about is Sam Darnold. You may be thinking, what in the world is this kid talking about? Sam Darnold? The same guy who was seeing ghosts just a couple years ago? Yeah, that's Sam Darnold. Believe it or not, he's been dealing. And while I'm on this, he's 5,500 on DraftKings this week, and I think this game could be a sleeping banger of a giant. I'm going to take Sam Darnold and I'm going to stack him up with Justin Jefferson, Naylor, and maybe sprinkle in some Jones on DraftKings. I'm going to have it all. And then I'm going to run it back with Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, maybe some Tank Dell in there. You just have to wait and see. Now, if you go over here to Outlier and you look at the game list, which you should always be checking the overs and unders and the spreads for the NFL games, you can see Houston's a 1.5 point favorite. The point total is only 45.5, but like I said, I think this could be a sleeper shootout game. I hope it is. I hope it blows over that 45.5 and gets to maybe 50 to 55.5. That would be critical. But you can see here on fantasy, on Outlier Bet, you can see his last game, 20 fantasy points. The game before that, 15.6. There's not a lot of data and not a lot of sample size for old Sam Darnold, so know that this is a gut call. But folks, I'm trying to give you plays that no one else is going to be talking about and everyone else is afraid to talk about, okay? I could come on here and talk about Kamara, Jordan Mason, all the obvious plays that people are going to take, Saquon Barkley, but I'm not interested in that. There's no value in that. My goal is to try to provide you some value, so here I go. Sam Darnold, 15.5 fantasy score. You should and could have some exposure to that. All right, now if we go back over here to the games, you can see the Eagles and Saints game has a 49.5 point total with a 2.5 point spread favoring the Saints. Now, they've yet to be really tested, and you can say, oh, Cab, they played the Cowboys. Not interested, don't care. Cowboys are not hitting right now. And speaking of Cowboys, you can scroll on down here and see they have to make a statement tomorrow versus the Ravens. Absolutely, they have to do it. 1.5 point spread, dogs at home with a 47.5 point spread. I'm going to get into that. And you can also see here the Lions and the Cardinals, 51.5. That game is going to be bussin'. We will talk about all of that for DraftKings, absolutely. But I think this Jalen Hurts and Derek Carr passing, I think this has a lot of equity. 463.5 passing yard combo. I think that's 100% something you could get involved in, okay? Absolutely. High point total, I think it's something to consider. If everyone's going to be on Barkley and Kamara, you could go to the quarterbacks. That's just something to consider, y'all. Now, let's talk about J.K. Dobbins, the guy who won me a whole lot of coin last Sunday and the week before that. I've been riding J.K. Dobbins. He was my anchor last week. Him and Jordan Mason, sweat-free cashes. Now, this week, he's in a tough matchup and in a terrible game environment. I was able to get his rushing yards at 52.5 earlier in the week. They boosted it all the way up to 58.5, which is absolutely insane. But he does have a 100-yard rush upside anytime he's on the field. So what I went ahead and did was I have some exposure to his rush attempts, but my favorite of the two is J.K. Dobbins and Najee Harris, 112.5. Actually, I got it at 111.5. They bumped it up one, but both of these guys are going to get attempts, at least 10 apiece. Najee's been good for 50 to 60 yards the first 2 weeks. Dobbins has over 100 yards each of those. He could go out there and get 100 yards by himself. You put these two in a combo with a low point total, and I'm getting exposure to it. I don't care. All right. There's another hidden gem from that game that I'm not going to talk about, but it is in the Discord right now. Now, if I go over here to my projection sheets, you can see right here, I have Najee Harris for 55.5 rushing yards. And if you go up here to J.K. Dobbins, you can see I have him for 69.7. So let's just call it 56 and 70. Now let's go back to PrizePicks. Let's take 55 plus 70 and we get 125. It's a roughly 13-yard differential. Both of them have a higher upside than that as well, specifically, especially Dobbins. So I'm going to have exposure to it. Now, real quick, every single day I post plays and MLB projections, NBA projections, NFL, anytime there's NFL games for all of it. A full chart color-coded for you guys to digest. In addition to that, I post my lineups, which you can see right here for MLB. All three of these cash. This one, 4-man cashed. All of these are posted. You can follow along and trail my props if you want. Watch a hook, but the priority was his Goblin. And then again right here, Mason Black didn't quite get the job done. But you can see I post these lineups, these slips, whatever you want to call them, and a daily prop list every single day for MLB and NFL. This is a projection sheet for MLB. It looks just like this. For NFL, it looks just like this. You'll have it all right there just like I showed you, and you will get the playlist that looks just like this. I make it real simple for you guys to trail, and I also post the lineups under Captain Slips right here. There's one there right now, and it's all ran through my Dub Club / Discord. They're linked together, so go to CaptainCrush.net, and I have a promo for you D-Gens right now. Normally, it's $25 a month, a fair value. You're going to get that and more. You get value in that just from the live stream 6 days a week. Tomorrow, there will be a live stream at 9:30 a.m. Central, an hour-long live stream on average that will give you all the latest news, updates, and DraftKings information you need before lock, in addition to PrizePicks, UnderDog, and everything else. And I do normal live streams Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Central. So if you want to take advantage of the promo and you're a new member, this is for new members, it's promo code CRUSHED, and you're going to get your $10 for your first month. This was supposed to expire today, but I extended it to the weekend because NFL falls on a Sunday, so it's over on Monday. Get in today. See you at the live stream tomorrow. There's no live stream on Saturday, but 100% tomorrow there will be one. And I promise you, you won't regret it. Just ask anybody that's in there. I'm doing the Lord's work. Tremendous value, baby. So let's keep this train rolling. Now, like I said, I alluded to it. Jordan Mason is going to be probably the most popular play on the board tomorrow. 95.5 rushing yards. The Niners are absolutely in shambles. No Kittle, no Christian McCaffrey, no Deebo Samuel. But unfortunately, well, I should say fortunately for them, they're playing the Rams, who are absolutely poverty. They're in their same injury situation. Everybody's going to be on Kyren Williams, which, I mean, the Niners defense is fine, so I'm not going to have exposure to any of that. But I will have Jordan Mason's rush yards. I will have some of his attempts. And I will have some of Juwan Jennings, who I've been on since week 1. He's been my little cash cow. 8.5 fantasy score, absolutely. And they bumped his receiving yards. I got it at 42.5 earlier. Now it's 43.5. I think it's still in play. He is their field stretcher. He does get a lot of looks. Everybody's going to be on Mason and everybody's going to be on Brandon Ayuk. And let me tell you something about Brandon Ayuk. My model loves him. Optimizers love him. Everybody loves him except me. I don't like him. I'm not taking him. If you want to take him as a dart, this is a situation where he has to cook. If he can't get it done versus the Rams with everybody else out, then the story about Brandon Ayuk being overpaid or whatever, it comes to an end and everybody has to realize he's overpaid and he's cooked. Players get overpaid all the time. They get contracts they don't deserve. And in my opinion, Brandon Ayuk is one of those guys. I'm just not convinced Brandon Ayuk is in the same caliber as Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm not, okay? Hopefully tomorrow he shows me what he can do against the Rams secondary, who are pretty much not playing for anything. So maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But at the end of the day, he's got to get it done. Now, if I was going to take anything from Mr. Ayuk, it would be his fantasy score. If you said, Cap, I'm holding you to the fire, pick a prop for Brandon Ayuk, that's what I'd come up with, okay? But I really don't have interest. Now, a lot of kickers on tomorrow's slates are really good. Tucker and Aubrey, this comes to mind. That is a good combination. Aubrey and Tucker, 48-plus yard field goals. 129.5 field goal combi. I mean, you know that Dallas is willing to take the points. Aubrey's been getting field goals. I think he had 17 fantasy points last week. 17, 21. I mean, the dude is good, but he's good because his team is putting him in a position to get the field goal. A lot of teams are just starting to go for it, which is nonsense. But in a perfect world, when they're 4th and 3 and they're on the 40-yard line, they're going to go for a field goal, so that has equity. Now, I'm taking the leap of faith, and I'm going to go with CeeDee Lamb at 17.5 fantasy score, guys. They have to win this game tomorrow, at least make it competitive. They have to show everybody that they can get it done. I think he can get a touchdown. I think he's going to get 6 to 7 catches, which is 7 points. So if he gets 60 yards, a touchdown, and 6 catches, he cashes this. I need him for season long. I need him for my anchor. I need it all. And if you want to pair him up with Flowers because you get exposure to both, Flowers has been a little cash cow himself, you absolutely could do that. 91 yards versus the Raiders, okay? But the priority here is CeeDee Lamb, period. I'm playing the narrative. I haven't been impressed with Baltimore. Dallas has to get right. If they don't get right this week, then I don't want to hear anything about Dallas Cowboys being great ever again until next season when McCarthy's gone. So CeeDee Lamb, you're going to need to come through and show Old Crush what you can do. Period. Now there's another player, a freight train, if you will, Derrick Henry, over half a rush touchdown. It's in the mix. I absolutely think you can get in this. If they get it on 1st and goal, he's getting in there. You could run that back with CeeDee Lamb. That would be your run back, or Little Justice Hill, who I got at 23.5. They've now bumped it up to 25.5, but I still think it's okay. He does get work. He is going to be their pass catching back as well. He can break a screen. He has equity. Either one of those two gents, okay? Now, speaking of Hill, Tyreek Hill just took a massive hit on his fantasy side when Tua went on injured reserve, okay? They got Skyler in the mix, but I think maybe they overreacted and made it a little bit too low, okay? 61.5 receiving yards for the Cheetah is just one big play for him. Even anyone behind center could get it to him. He does take a significant hit, but it is at 61.5, so you could have some sprinkles to this. His 1.5 rush yards, we know they're going to give him sweeps. I think that has equity as well, and his fantasy score would be the least favorite that I would do, but either one of these, one lineup max if you want to take a shot on it. That's all I got to say about the Finns. Other than that, they're a full fade for Old Crush. Now, the Lions and Cardinals. This game could feed families for DraftKings. I'm not exactly sure what I want to take for Kyler Murray. I'm literally flirting with the idea of taking his fantasy score, maybe the pass yard combo, maybe Kyle Murray's rush plus receive or pass plus rush yards. I'm not exactly sure yet. I do want to have exposure to this game. I just don't know how I'm going to have it. Okay, that would be something that I mainly target for DraftKings and leave it alone on PrizePicks. Now, folks, there is a ton of games tomorrow. There is a ton of plays. That's why it's critical. You're in the Discord, you're in the live stream, so you can get the full list, the projections, and everything. It's impossible for me to cover it all in one little 15, 20-minute video. I do my best, but I'm always going to be leaving stuff out, okay? So make sure you're involved in there. I give you all my thoughts. I'm going to give you the write-ups and everything. It's already posted in there. Now, one real quick thing that I want to say about the anytime touchdowns. Where is it? Okay, here, if you're looking at guys who you know are studs and are going to get in the end zone eventually, I just gave you Garrett Wilson anytime touchdown for Monday Night Football, and he got it done, or Thursday Night Football. Now, how did I come up with that? Very simple. A guy like Bijan Robinson, who you know is a stud, 2 weeks in a row, no tutties, you know eventually he's getting that tutty. He's due. So right there, that's automatically in play, okay? That's the type of thing you want to look at. It's more probable that they're going to get one touchdown in 3 games then they're not going to get one, okay? It's just that simple. Chris Olave, he's in a prime spot. He's another one. He's due a touchdown, and it's a demon prop. 2 weeks without a touchdown, you know it's coming. Olave is going to get in the box. Shaheed's been a TD monster already, and eventually he's going to regress. So that's why I would go with Olave, but if you want to take Shaheed, you can. That game has a high total. It's going to be great. On paper anyways, hopefully they show out and they don't sell. Sam Laporta, you know they love him. He's another one that is due a touchdown. 2 games, no tutty. Eventually he's going to get his. He's another person that you could take. Christian Kirk, their whole offense, their whole team is in shambles. They need to get it figured out, but he's 100% a stud and someone that's eventually going to get in the box. That's what you want to do. I'm not going to sit here and go through the entire thing. I'm just trying to give you guys options, but make sure you're thinking about that. And I hate to say it, but Brandon Ayuk fits that mold too. He needs a touchdown. He's due a touchdown. He's absolutely in play for the touchdown because of the demon payout, okay? Now, real quick before I go over to DraftKings, UnderDog has a ton of promotions right now. CeeDee Lamb's a gimme pick. They have the vulture protection. They have deposit bonuses up to $1,000 if you use code CRUSH, and they have an entire board. So make sure you get an UnderDog. This gives you a 30-day free trial in my Discord if you sign up, and a $1,000 deposit match, up to $1,000 I should say. Use code CRUSH and get in the mix and claim your free square. Now, I'm going to do a bonus real quick before I transition to DraftKings. For those of you that are sweating anything tonight for MLB, I do cover MLB every day in the Discord and WNBA as well. So go to DG. You can see I actually like Carlos Rodon over 38.5 fantasy tonight, but you can see he's being juiced under. Ronel Blanco over 6Ks. Martin Perez under 4.5 strikeouts, under 29.5. I got Perez under 17.5 pitching outs earlier, and now he's at 16.5. The value is secure. So if you want to sweat anything, you go to DG and you literally just start going down the list. It's that simple. And you can also get a discount here. Code CRUSH, 25% off. Code CRUSH35, and you'll get 35% off for the entire NFL season. Now let's talk about DraftKings, folks. Every week I do DraftKings. This is the best thing that I like for NFL, above PrizePicks, above everything. Every single week. Look at this contest, okay? It's the NFL 600K Power Sweep 3-entry max. $150 per lineup. It's 3 lineups max, so $450, and you get $100,000 for first place if you win, and there's only 4,444 players in this contest. I max it every single week, and I plan on winning it this season. I've come so close. Top 8 multiple times. It's my time to get that first place nugget. I'm telling you, I'm cashing this thing first place. Screenshot it, record it, whatever you want. Come week 18 or in the playoffs, it'll be done. Or my name ain't Crush. Now, if you're new to DraftKings, they have a lot of other ones. They have a $3.20 max that's $100K to first. There's a lot of players, 400,000, so you want to get creative. Now, if you're looking at this and you're overwhelmed, I help you out with this in my Discord. I give you the full projection sheet. I give you write-ups and game stacks of who to target. I give you my entire player pool of who I'm playing. I mean, I can't make it any easier for you than just giving you my actual lineup. But like I was saying about old Sam Darnold, he's 5,500. I like to spend down at quarterback when I can. If he gets me 15 to 16, he has a high ceiling of 20 to 25. I'm in the mix. You can pair him up with the following. Okay, you go to receiver, you got Justin Jefferson at 8,600. That price is criminal. And then my sleeper to go with it, Jefferson and Naylor, 4,400. I think this is a great stack, and it gives you the option to run it back with any of the studs. Collins, Diggs, any of those guys. Tank Dell, the running back Cam Akers, you can literally pick your poison. Okay, I think this is a great stack. Darnold, Jefferson, Naylor, and then run it back with Collins. Or you could run it back with Diggs and save a few bucks, and you get that narrative upside of his former team. Now, he hasn't played. He played for the Bills before the Vikings, but it is still where he became Stephon Diggs. So you can absolutely ride that narrative. I think either one of those, even Tank Dell, eventually they got to get Tank Dell going, baby. They got to get him going. 5,200, this is probably the cheapest he's ever going to be. Now remember, you want to buy low on these guys. You want to fade the guys who just had ridiculous ceiling games that are going to be 7, 8, 9K unless they're absolute studs like Justin Jefferson. But let's just say Tank Dell went yarn last week and had himself 2 TDs. He's going to be 65 to 7K. Now he's a buy low spot. We know his upside, 5,200. This is the week you can play Tank Dell. Jameson Williams, he's another one that I like. Facing that Arizona, it gives you exposure to that. So you could use Jameson Williams as a one-off, or you could use Connor as your running back, whatever. But I'm telling you right now, the most popular running back is going to be this right here. Jordan Mason, 6,200. So let me explain to you how to do this correctly. If you want to take Jordan Mason tomorrow, do not play him soft. You need to make the decision. Either you're all in on him or you're fading him completely. If you're playing 20 lineups, he needs to be in 20 of 20. If you decide to play him, that's how you do it. That way, even though he's 60% owned, you have him 100% owned. You have 38% leverage on the field. That is how you win GPPs, even when somebody's very popular like Jordan Mason. It's all about leverage. It's all about ownership. That is how you win. Take a stand, regardless of who it is. Have your core players, your core stacks, your QB, your wide receiver pair, your bring back, your core players. Get a dart pool, sprinkle it around, and go from there. Now, I will give you access to my entire player pool in my Discord. I'll have multiple stack options, at least 3 that I think are solid tomorrow. Okay, now real quick, let's talk about defense. Guys, I think that this is absolutely a no-brainer. The Vikings at 2,400. I know it's a tough matchup, but we know Stroud's going to want to throw the ball. So that means there's opportunity for pick sixes. And the Vikings defense, I hate to admit this, but they've been solid. And at 2,400, I'm going to take a shot. And then in addition to that, I think the Cardinals down here at 2,300 are absolutely in play. They've been impressing me for week 1 and 2. I'll go right back to them. I love to punt at defense. There's no way I'm paying 4K for defense on this slate, y'all. Just no way. And then if you really want to get creative, you could take the Bears or the Saints defense again. Hope that Hurts turns it over. Hope that Anthony Richardson turns it over. The Bears have a solid defense. You could go there, but those are your options, okay? And then let me see for tight end real quick. I'm trying to give you one of each. Honestly, I think you got to go to Parkinson at 3,600. He was chalk last week. He's going to be popular again today. I think you got to go there. Bowers is absolutely the best tight end on the slate, but he's going to be super popular. So again, take your stand and make your stand on that. And then for running backs, we talked about Mason and how popular he's going to be, but I do believe that as gross as this is, and this is absolutely disgusting, but Zamir White could have a breakout game at 5,500 this week. This could be the game where he absolutely gets to get unleashed. We'll have to wait and see, but I think he's in play. And then obviously Kamara and Barkley, all those guys are in play, but you don't need me to tell you that. You guys already know that. And then Cam Akers is going to be very popular, I think. Cam Akers used to be a stud. For those of you that are new to betting, he used to be a stud. I don't know what happened. He got injured and then he just kind of fell off, but he used to be a stud. He has it in him. He has that dog in him. So don't sleep on Cam Akers tomorrow. He's going to be extremely high owned, I believe. So that's that. Now, my brothers and sisters in Christ, I would love to give a full video, a full 30 minutes on just DraftKings, but I got to know that there's interest. And then what I'll do is I'll make my PrizePicks UnderDog videos and then make another separate video of DraftKings and go from there in further depth. But if you want to see that, you got to let me know in the comments, people. Otherwise, I'm not going to take the time to do it because remember, I'm still doing videos every day for MLB and live streams every single day as well. So please let me know in the comments what you guys think, all right? I appreciate that. Now, there's going to be value coming and going on NFL, so it's important that you use a tool like DG. Use the projection sheets in the Discord. Now, they do have the Caleb Williams free square. If you do want to just get a double up, you can always take a player's goblin that you like. Let's see if Mason has a gobby. And he does at 69.5. That'll get you your 2x. That sometimes is the only play to do. You get your double up from the free square, you move on. You want to maximize your equity from these free squares. So essentially, you just have to get one play right to double your money. I think that is an optimal play. Now, Now, remember, use code CRUSHED and you can get in. This promo's going away soon. You will get your coins worth. I do it all for you guys. CaptainCrush.net, code CRUSHED. Link is in the description. Check out DG and any of my other partners and you get a 30-day free trial. My goodness, y'all, I'm losing my voice, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. Remember that live stream will be at 9:30 Central tomorrow. Here's the salute. Good luck in all your contests. And as always, my brothers and sisters in Christ, let's crush.